Coach, what brought you up to TC? Why are you up here now?
Well, as I said, I started coaching East Grand Rapids in '96. You probably weren't even born.
My mom wasn't even graduated from high school yet.
Yeah. My son was a sixth grader.
Okay.
And we had started moving the middle school lacrosse program down.
Mm-hmm.
And they needed coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I was a football player coaching rocket football.
Okay.
And they called me and said, you know, we need some coaches that know how to be organized, know how to treat kids.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to know lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
We have a guy that will be available. So I started coaching. And then he got to be a freshman, and I got a call, would you be the freshman coach? So took over the freshman team. And then I got a call next spring, would you run the JV team? Thinking any moment now I won't coach my son anymore, and I don't know even if I'll continue coaching.
Sure.
So his junior year, we had two varsity teams. We had 125 players at the high school.
Oh, wow.
And they asked me to coach the B varsity team.
Mm-hmm.
And my son, fortunately, was a junior, but played with me.
Mm-hmm.
And we played only varsity teams around the state.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, okay, now it's done again.
Mm-hmm.
And our varsity coach suddenly resigned at the end of the season. And the next thing you know, I'm the varsity coach for
and
season 2002.
For your son's senior
year.
Oh, wow.
And a group like probably you had,
mm-hmm.
a group of 10, 11 other kids
mm-hmm.
that from the time they were middle school had never played for another head coach
mm-hmm.
through all that time.
Yeah.
And when I took the job, I said, I'll do it for 3 years to put some stability, and then I'll be happy to step away and let, you know, the next generation take over.
Sure.
So we were fortunate, and I should say fortunate, we felt we were in pretty good position to compete for the state title, which we did and won.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And then our 2003 season, we got to the state finals and lost to Country Day. And then in 2004, we got back and won. And I then became assistant head coach and coached until the spring of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So 25, we played for a state championship and lost. 2006, we played for a state championship and lost.
Mm-hmm.
2007, we played and won, beat Cranbrook. 2008, we played and won and beat Forest Hill Central. 2009, we played again and
mm-hmm.
beat Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Okay.
2010, we didn't get to the finals. Came back in 11 and got to the finals and lost to Detroit Country Day, and then I retired.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a call from one of the board members, say, hey, we have a new coach, kid from Brother Rice. Wondered if you and like to share some perspective with him in October as we're looking forward. So I met with him. We had a nice conversation. And after I left, I thought, you know, maybe I can coach again.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent him a note saying, hey, if I can be of any assistance, I'll be happy to be an assistant and help Mike, you know, as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So 2015, I went back. We lost in the semifinals to Okemos.
And I'm
an assistant coach
at
East Grand Rapids.
Okay,
all this is East Grand Rapids.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So he then suddenly decides to move to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, I'm head coach again
mm-hmm.
in 2016.
It seems like they like giving you that job.
So 2016, we played Forest Hill Central in the state championship and lost.
Mm-hmm.
We played them again in 17 and 18 and beat them twice.
Mm-hmm.
In 18, we beat them in triple overtime. And we had lost to them in the regular season, like 18-9.
Mm-hmm.
And we were man down in the first overtime period,
mm-hmm.
and we survived. So that was 18. 19, we lost in the semifinals. 20 was the lost season due to COVID.
Yep.
Came back in 21 and beat Forest Hills Eastern in the state finals.
Okay.
And then I retired.
Forest Hills Eastern, I played against my senior year that year.
Okay.
They made light work of us. It was
Yeah.
it was a tough show.
And what year was your senior year?
2021.
2021. All right. So 2021, we played them in the state championship game.
Yep.
And beat them. And that's when I retired and didn't look back.
Mm-hmm.
So on the sidelines for 16 seasons, fortunate enough to be in the finals 13 times.
It's amazing.
And I say it's all about the kids. It's the kids that did it and the coaches, and we won 8 of the 13 during that time period.
Wow.
So that's kind of a long buildup. So my son moves to Traverse City about 10 years ago, has starting a family, has a 9-year-old son, loves lacrosse. He starts working on me last fall. Dad, come on, Dad. What do you think? You think we have this new club at Traverse City West, great school system, great kids, great families. What do you think? Do you think we could help them create a legacy similar to East? I said, Rick, God bless you, man. I said, I don't, you're asking me, I'm 76 years old, for Pete's sake. Well, just what do you think? I said, well, let me make some contact. Let me reach out and see if they're even interested in having us. So I reached out to Casey, drove up to have a meeting with them, and I'm not sure. I mean, he knew about me, because if you're in in lacrosse at the high school level in Michigan, you mentioned Coach D, and 90% of people have a pretty good.
You're a winner.
Yeah,
you're a winner.
Yeah, I ran into my sons at Willow Hill Elementary. The guy who runs their athletic programs there was coaching for the United Lacrosse. Now I think, is helping the girls. I show up to pick up my grandson one night, and he says, "Hey, who are you looking for?" I said, "Well, I'm looking for Gaines DeBlasio," and I'm wearing an East jacket. He looks at me. He said, "You're Coach D. You're the legend from East Grand Rapids." I said, "Well, I don't know about all that, but yes, I am Coach D, and I am here." And we had a nice conversation. So I met with Casey. We had a nice talk, and my son, I wanted both of us to be able to get engaged, because after coaching him in 2002, we had not had any more athletic experience or coach. So having the opportunity to have him on the sidelines was a big factor for my decision. And Casey, I didn't hear from him for a couple of days, and I thought, holy cow, maybe this isn't going to happen. I told my son, I said, I don't know. They've got lots of coaches already. So he sent me an email and said, "Hey, we'd love to have you, and you and Ricky, and these are dates. Let's figure it out. Let's get together and let's go." So that's pretty much how I worked my way into Traverse City West. And
Sure.
My friends around the state that have now learned that we're here are like, "Rick, did you move?" Like Rich Axtell, the girls coach.
Yep.
He lives up here now.
And he's a Forest Hill Central guy, right?
No, he was East Grand Rapids. He was the girls coach at East Grand Rapids.
Okay.
He was originally a boys coach. He had a son, Andrew, who was an outstanding D-Midi. As a senior, was a all-state, all-purpose midfielder. And then after he graduated from the boys lacrosse program, Rich then migrated to the girls program at East, and he was there for, I don't know, 10 years or more, very successful. And then he was at Forest Hills Northern, and then they must have moved, and that's when he took over the Traverse City United girls. So
yeah, so you've been a coach on some really, really phenomenal teams. Is there when you're looking at this West team that you're coaching this year, how do they stack up? Are there any, do you see similarities? Do you see differences? What does that kind of look like to you?
Well, the first thing that struck me
Mm-hmm.
is that we're a very young team. We've got a lot of sophomores and juniors playing regularly. And, what I've learned about the game of lacrosse is if you can have a roster with 35 names on it, you can have a roster with 27 names on it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you've got to have 17, as you've learned, what I call the go-to guys. You've got to have those 3 or 4 O middies. You've got to have the 2 to 3 D middies. You got to have a couple LSMs, 3 close defense, 3 attack, and a goalie. And when you concentrate on that, and early on, because we were so new and so young, it took us a little while to start to see how that group was maturing and developing.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, we came along very quickly, and so one of the things that I brought is that I learned as a non-lacrosse guy, what are the 30 elements that make this game work? So you track face-offs. Well, we track them as whether we want them, whether we want them at X with our FOGO, or whether we want them on the wings, because all that's important. Same with clears. Clears have to be in a 75% category. But it's not just the clear being successful, was our clear pass successful? Did we make good movement with the ball? And what we've done here, because we have young goalies, is to try to work the ball quickly into one of our more experienced long poles and let them run what we call a ladder off box. So while the other team is getting their D guys off and their O guys off and trying to get their D guys on, we're moving the ball upfield. So we track that, and we track rides, because I've learned that when you look at possessions, we're going to get them off FOGOs, but the other possessions we're going to get is through turnovers. Some will be defensive maneuvers, some will be goalie saves. But when they have a chance to clear, because we gave up that possession, we want to jump them in almost a 10-man ride to try to force them to only be successful on 55%, because every one of those that we're able to defeat adds 20 more possessions to our side. Mm-hmm. So it's a combination, shots on goals, settled goals. We break down our goals. This year, our goal target, I think, is 12 or 14. At some point, it needs to be more like 16. But we track whether those are settled, whether those are EMO, whether those are transition goals, and we try to break down into 6 of these and 2 of those and 3 of those. Mm-hmm. And we concentrate on what we do in practice and our strategies to help move those along, and same with the other categories. Mm-hmm. So taking all that into account, to get back to your question, everybody bought in and appreciated having the numbers and the ability now to look at the game in a broader picture, which helps us also identify where players can play better, where there's more chance to contribute. And one of my philosophies, and one of the reasons I think our legacy of having kids able to get to that championship game level, whether they win or lose, is that I never got hung up, and partially because I'm not a lacrosse guy. So, I didn't go to some great Division 3 or 2 program and learn that level defense. Mm-hmm. So I bring many coaches come to the high school level, and they bring that defense with them that even their team may have or may not have run it well, but our kids will never run that defense. Too many slides, too many. When you start talking about a third slide and you start talking about stuff, trust me, mm-hmm. you're in trouble.
Yeah, we got into the weeds with that this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the same with offense. It's all about motion. It's all about teaching kids where the zone is to shoot. Because as you know, as you come off that cage more than 12 yards, and as you start to step more out of the 6-foot zone in front and start here, every time you move a little more right or left, looking at the goalie, you take the gauge from 6x6 and cut it to 6x4, 6x3, and it makes those shots really difficult.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We spent a lot of time working on those kind of things to get us along. So, we've had some disappointments in times when we got just a little bit overpowered. Midland Dow was one of our early games. We should have beat Petoskey the second time we played them, but for some reason we just didn't get off the bus. I kind of a phrase that you'll hear coaches use.
Yep.
Mona Shores, we were just outplayed. They were more athletic. They were quicker. But then we came back and we beat Granville, which is a very good Division I team.
Great game.
And it was a great game. The kids played very well. We came back and played Traverse City Central in a game that's all about emotion. Those poor, I say poor kids. I mean, we beat them twice this year. I hear from the guys that Traverse City West, in a physical sport, football, we've never beaten them in any sport of that level, and here we are now. And we take a lot of pride in knowing that we believe we are the Lax program in Traverse City.
And let me tell you, it's a surprise. When I was in high school, Central had it's really cool to see. I'm a Central man myself, but Grady obviously is a West kid, so I've been converted.
Well, and as I told Casey, it's all about the vibe. And you're playing at college level. You're going to play with those kids for 4 years. I mean, as you go up, if that team doesn't feel that pride in the locker room, it's about teaching kids, for this to work, you got to trust your teammate. I'm not saying you just got to play with him. You got to believe in that guy, and that guy's got to believe in you. And the reason he does that is when you're throwing the ball, you throw the ball where he can catch it.
Right.
And he does the same. I tell these kids all the time, there is no such thing as a bad catch, but there is everything about a bad throw, bad pass. So we need to enable these kids, and we need to give them the confidence. And one of the things that I have found with our group, that I try to nurture an environment as Casey does. We treat these guys as young men, even though some of them are 14-year-old freshmen. We treat them as young men, and we give them that respect. We expect them to conduct themselves with a sense of maturity, a sense of pride and ownership in this team. Because if we relied on the 7 or 8 coaches scribing every movement and screaming sideline every play, we're going to go nowhere. My big philosophy is, look, we handle practices, we handle the general strategies, we help you develop the individual skills through the work we do in practice. We share with you game films of our own play and of our competitors. But on game day, when that whistle blows, you're on the inside of the lines and we're on the outside. And if we don't create a level of trust in you and you and us, this is not going to work. But fortunately, and it's not universal, but we're seeing, every day, every game, more and more of a buy-in, more comfortability. We got a group of very small attackmen, and your brother is not necessarily one of the big guys, but man, oh man, they play with so much heart, and they move the ball so well together. And we look at their scoring, because we've moved from more of a scripted offense to a motion offense, where we create counterbalance, try to create imbalance, and then when we see the imbalance, we're able to feed and get a shot. Mm-hmm. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's something that I discussed with Coach Schaub a minute ago, is that freeform offense. I come from a hockey background. I transitioned from hockey to lacrosse, and to see the game kind of develop in that way, I'm really enjoying it. It's fun to watch, and it's really fun to play. And for small guys like Grady and, you know, the rest of the attackmen, Lou.
Well, and we played, I mean, you know, the TC Central's defense guys, man, number 16 is, holy cow, he's huge. Mm-hmm. And even the Granville kid, I mean, we play, the majority of teams we play, when you look at our attack guys and the D guys standing kind of when the ball's on the other end of the field, I mean, our guys are lucky if they're, they're coming up to their shoulder.
I know, I'm used to the feeling. I get it. I understand.
But yet they're they're quick, and when they have a line of sight, they know how to. We need to do a little better on our finishing. Mm-hmm. Nothing can it gets to be frustrating when you've got a kid who's made a fantastic move, has the shot, has his hands free, and he shoots at the goalie stick. Mm-hmm. Or he's standing in front of the cage and he can just sweep it in. Don't worry, but he doesn't choose to sweep. He chooses to not change planes. But sure. No. So we're a work in progress. We've done a pretty good job balancing on our shortcomings. We've had some games where we've struggled on clears, but we've still managed to get 60 possessions. We've had some games where recently our ride has become a little more aggressive and a little more successful, which is good.
I would like to interject real quick. The attackmen's rides are fantastic. Yeah. I've never seen a high school attack line that rides as effectively as they do.
A couple things that over the years I've been known for. Some of it I get ridiculed about, but I'm a zone defense guy. Played zone for those 16 years. I like it because it enables kids a little less talented to be more successful. Nate and I go back and forth, but he's made some really neat adjustments to our man defense. If you'll notice, we play in a little tighter. If you look at our first couple game films, you'll see our D middies engaging 30 yards out. Now, if you look at our engagement, that package is more like 15 yards. That way we can recover, we can slide. So even when I interviewed with Casey the first day, and I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to say, hey, you got to play my zone. So I didn't bring it up. But he looked at me and he said, yeah, I hear you're a zone guy. Almost like it was a problem. I laughed. I said, Casey, you do know that we've had some success with that zone. Yeah, I know. I said, no worries. You got a great kid coaching our defense, whatever he thinks work. And Nate and I have worked together very closely. And he is a taskmaster, but he shows those kids just great respect. And the other thing is the quasi. We ran a 10-man ride every game, every play, and we learned how to protect our open goal. So we weren't, early on when we did the 10-man ride, we were giving up 3 goals a game to LSM shooting from midfield. Mm-hmm. So we figured out how to not let our D guys and goalie get taken to the far corners of our defensive zone, but kind of 6 steps from where they needed to be and 6 steps from their guy. So as the ball moves, if it moves through the air, we can recover. Mm-hmm. And if they break faster, we can get back into a settled defense. So, yeah, well, thank for you. The kids have, it took us a while to get them comfortable being that aggressive, but now that it's working for them, it's fun just to watch them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Coach, you may not describe yourself as a lacrosse guy, but you're a wealth of lacrosse knowledge. That's for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So I'll leave you with one last question. Um, just looking towards the future of the program. If you just have a message or anything that you'd like to send to the kids, what might that be?
Well, I think it's about them learning to play with respect for their teammates, them wanting during the off season to wherever they leave, whenever this season ends, which I'm not planning to end right away. Planning for it to end right away. They come back in the spring better than they left. And the other thing is we become truly a team, not a roster of 27 guys with not disparaging, but discombobulated group here and a group there. But the upperclassmen and the younger starters work to keep everybody engaged, because no matter who I am here, or no matter Casey, Nate, or any of the other great coaches we have, it's all about the kids. And we want to be, when people run in to our families in a restaurant, or people go to a football game and our kids are there, we want them asking us, how'd you do it? What happened? Jesus, my kids have gone to Central. They're talking about going to West next year. That's and that brings with it, I say brings, but it breeds the success that we think we can have. It's a great feeling, as I mentioned earlier, to know that we are lax in Traverse City, but we have bigger thoughts about when our name comes up. Oh, like next spring, I expect, because of things that the kids have been able to do this year, Casey's going to get calls. He's going to get calls from all over the state. This year, I'm guessing the AD had challenges getting our schedule put together. Next year, Casey will be calling me, Rick, what do we do? I've got calls for 25 games. And that is the beginning of what helps make us where I think I believe this program can go for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think you're the man to get them there.
Well, thank
You've
you
done
so
it before,
much.
So.
Well, doing it with the guys. This is not about me. It's a great pleasure to be here with my son. I can't tell you. I stay with him. They allow me to bunk. I get to take my grandkids to school when I'm here, and it's been just we're just very. And I don't know if it's fortunate or we're lucky, but the group of coaches and kids that signed up to be here on March 10th when this started. Oh my God, how blessed we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks very much.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and it was great meeting you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love when your brother's playing defense. It doesn't matter if he takes face-offs.
Mm-hmm.
He's just one of those kids
He's a stud,
that I'm
man.
sure, like you were, you just always want to have on the field.
Well, I'm a diva.